I worked at Buffalo Wild Wings. No excuse.
Okay, that's true. Okay.
That's how it is. Here we go. Hi. Once upon a groove on an old soul tune. I watch the pen move to shape the breakthrough. Who makes moves, maneuver in the right direction? The rest of you get left behind and messed up in this session. I'm not trying to make a difference. Maybe some pocket change.
Welcome to DrunkCast Live.
Hey!
Hey, there's a thing over there, and actually, you can't really see Adam at all. Let me try to move that over. DrunkCast Live. I'm Travis.
I'm Dylan.
We're a podcast takes place in bars and restaurants all over the world, or at least we'd like to think so. We've been in 3 states, I think.
Sure.
Yeah, sure. We like to have some drinks with interesting people and talk about the things that have happened over the week. We have Adam McWaters.
Hello.
He's our beard and our luck dragon. You can kind of see him if you're watching on Facebook.com/DrunkCast Live. You can go to our Facebook Live thing. You can kind of see his head over there.
Bulbous.
He is a designer, comic book fan, and also just an all-around pretty groovy dude.
Thanks. I appreciate that.
And across from him, it's one of my favorite people. I can say that shit all day because you are still one of my favorite people. It's Adam.hrabik.
Bless you.
Back on
Thank
DrunkCast.
you.
I mean, you're just a light to be around.
I don't think so. I feel like I radiate negativity.
Right. Dude, it's not your job to think that. It's his. Yeah.
He's a comedian here in Austin, Texas, and I said it before, and it's worth saying again. I'd fuck him. No, one of the best writers in Austin.
We have been working on this relationship for a couple years now. It's about time we fuck.
Yeah, you were friends of the show. Now I want to be friends of the show with benefits.
Friends of the show.
Yeah.
We actually
The
started.
show being your dick.
Me and Dylan actually
Which is
started
live.
a fuck pool like a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
The will they, won't they kind of
Will
thing.
they?
Oh, that is like a swimming pool you fuck in.
That's a different one. We
Oh,
started one of
okay.
those one
All right.
time.
That's
too,
that's
but-
actually part of the pools. Is where.
Yeah,
It's-
what- yeah.
There's when and there's where.
The pool
Yeah.
pool. That's the center. You put the most money in there, the highest odds.
Yeah.
right.
Specificity.
Right.
Yeah.
Pays out big.
It's a
Yeah.
motor-
Oh, big payout. Big payouts.
Big and wet. Big and wet.
Oh, Sally, that's also in the fuck pool.
Yes. I know.
Don't ask.
Nothing's
This is
Just
right.
don't ask.
Nothing's right and everything hurts. All right, come on.
This is much sexier than the early show that started with "How did I lose my virginity?"
And now it's a fuck pool.
And can I say, like, I appreciate the
Look
fact
how
that
far you come.
you didn't even have to think about it. You just like, you didn't say like, oh, I don't want to talk about that. You're just like, it happened on this day, it happened this
Yeah.
month, and this year. Like, I like that a lot. Like,
Well, also like if I'd lost my virginity at like 15 or 16, I would be like, I might not remember like the month and like all this sitting
Sure.
in that area. But
Yeah.
like when it happened when I was 23, I was like, okay, so this is the day that things changed.
the day the fire island attacked her.
Some people drew like a red line through their calendar on September 11, 2001. I did it on July 23rd, 2011.
Never forget.
Never forget. You can find us because we're going to talk about we're going to talk about everything that's happened over the week as much as we can. We do need to set up some kind of game where we have to take shots every time we have to talk about Trump related things. Because like I'd like to never talk about Trump stuff.
It'd be better to survive the show too.
Yeah. But you can already like if you like this,
It's important to talk about it. It's important to
important not to ignore it, yeah.
it's important to take everything he says and tie it directly to Russia.
Sure.
That is how we're going to impeach him.
I'm hoping. We're hoping. I mean, I'm also hoping it's not going to be a big disappointment, but we'll get to that later in the show. Please, if you like this, I usually say this at the end, but go to facebook.com/DrunkCast Live and go like what we do. Go to iTunes and subscribe and give us some reviews. It gives us some boosts and stuff. Also, we have a newsletter. If you go to the DrunkCast page, you can sign up for the newsletter, and we would like to put adjacent stuff, like so whatever we're talking about here. The extra links of those things, some special secret links that
It's where we cite our sources.
as we cite our sources, and that's Chris Lloyd, who is our ombudsman, who like makes sure to cite our sources. Because like when we had Lisa Friedrich on the show last time, we were talking about Squirrel Girl, and I didn't know anything about Squirrel Girl, and Chris Lloyd got pretty upset because he loves the shit out of Squirrel Girl, and he's like, he texts me, he's like, once I get up, I don't really understand what he's like. Once I get off this boat, and the hangover goes away.
He leads a storied existence.
He does.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm ready to ombuds all over you about Squirrel Girl. I was like, okay. Like, so I went and did some research. So for the sake of fact checking, Squirrel Girl is a pretty fucking fascinating and interesting character who really shouldn't exist and is a lot of fun. So.
Yeah.
But it's stuff that you'll find in the newsletter if you
Yeah.
subscribe.
I
Extra
don't
links
know.
to that
I don't
and
know
pictures of
anything
that.
about Squirrel the Girl. What is this character?
Squirrel Girl is a character that, so on the very basic level, is a Marvel character who can control squirrels. But I guess they just steal.
Already in a much darker direction. This is like Willard.
Well, and so like the first part, I guess the first time she
Willard, but friends with bears.
she met like the first time like she was obsessed with Iron Man, and all she wanted to do was be on Iron Man's team, like a partner or a sidekick or something. And she wound up meeting Iron Man right when Iron Man was fighting Dr. Doom. Iron Man said, "Well, I don't know who you are. I can't work with you." And she was like, "Oh, well, check this out." And she beat Dr. Doom by calling all those squirrels to kick its ass. Dr. Doom went down, and Iron Man still said no. And was like, "What the fuck is this story?" And so she's beaten Wolverine in single hand combat. She beat Thanos somehow, and then the rest of her acquisitions or whatever were all off panel. And so the joke is that she is a character that can never be beaten. And so the meta is that she's this character that just is just so perfect, too perfect to live, and it makes internet people froth. Like,
Yeah, she got like what seems like a fascinating little like cult following since they kind of brought Squirrel Girl back. And so there's a lot of people who are really excited because there's a lot of charm to the character. I've not really done enough research into it, but it's fascinating enough that I think I'm gonna give Squirrel Girl a shot.
Oh,
yeah. And it's also interesting enough too because
when did they start making a Squirrel Girl? When was that character introduced
To the internet.
I've got a theory.
okay.
You have a hypothesis, sir.
I have a hypothesis.
So while I look that up, tell me what you think. What year you think it was?
July 23rd.
No, I need to. I need.
They all good things happen.
No, I need to know. I need to know the date before I can finish this theory out.
It's January 92.
92. Okay. Here we
Were
go.
you even born yet?
No, I was 5. I was I was going through the rigors of chemotherapy.
Through the maelstrom.
Okay, so Home Alone 2 comes out in 1993. What's the lead second character in Home Alone 2? Not Kevin.
Donald Trump.
Not Kevin.
I honestly don't remember anything from that movie except for Donald Trump and Anthony Schwartz.
Now, I'm not talking about Kevin. I'm not talking about Kevin's parents.
No, of course.
R.I.P. John Hurt. He died today.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's true.
he did.
I'm not talking about Marv or Harry. I'm talking about
The old man?
the lady
Oh, yeah.
who controlled pigeons.
It was just a good time for
Yeah.
people to be able to control shit.
It is so delightful that I have no fucking
Yeah.
idea what you're talking about. My mind has wiped all those details out. It's a blissful life.
After you release Squirrel Girl in 1992, a year later, you write the maternal story. You write where her mother's origin story.
Mhm.
That's
Everyone
where
knows squirrels and pigeons are mortal enemies.
Exactly.
they're not mortal enemies. They're not.
Yeah, they eat the
they're
same shit.
related. They're related. Well, they're
How are
all
they related?
They're all park creatures.
Through the flying squirrel? Is that how they're related?
they are public park creatures.
Oh, they are.
So
Yeah,
this
that's true.
He's universe
they're-
building. Let him go.
Yeah.
Don't put him in a box.
The homeless woman who controls pigeons. She gives birth to a child that in the mid 80s, that child grows up to be Squirrel Girl. She is later accompanied by Chickadee Girl. Dog with a cool leash girl. Hula hoop girl.
Rat King was her father, right?
Rat. Ooh, do not talk
Marmoset
about Rat
boy.
King. Do not talk about Rat King.
Oh, is that
in front of them.
Is
Ooh.
that a trigger word? The character from Team T, not the actual thing. You know.
Not an actual Rat King.
Yeah, no.
That's what he uses as a weapon. It's like a throwing star.
It's a shield, actually.
just
It's a lot of red.
Grabs in the middle, spins it around.
This already sounds better than anything DC has done. Like in the past 20, 30 years.
I actually attached several Rat Kings together to form an impenetrable shield.
to form the greatest fidget spinner.
Rat Kings are fidget spinners.
Yeah.
Wow.
Saying,
It makes sense, doesn't it?
fuck Suicide Girl, Suicide Squad, whatever. Make this movie.
If you already have a problem with
Yeah.
anything we're saying, 802-359-7468 or 809
We need you
359
to hear
shot.
it.
Or tweet us.
So unbuds that, Chris.
Yeah, unbutts that. Unpack that really first. So some stuff that's going to happen, we might be able to talk about if we want to talk about. That I was really surprised and kind of entertained by the Ann Coulter story for her $30.
Yeah.
Because it's not that she was wrong, but she wound up being wrong eventually because
she is by default inherently wrong
yeah,
at all things.
It's like every time I read an
horrible.
article on fusion, I'm like, I completely agree with the spirit of what you're saying, but the way you're saying it makes me also think you're a bad person too.
Yeah.
Like,
Does she write for them?
No. Just like, I think about so in culture specifically having like, oh well, no, I bought this extra seat, and then the extra seat was sold, and it's like, all right, I understand that. So far, normal person has a real serious problem, and then just the way she handled it was like, but you're still a piece of shit. Like, who cares now?
Yeah.
Who cares about your struggles? Like, this is a family that needs to
She's
go
like the
somewhere.
David
you know?
Icke
Like,
of white girl.
When she said she spent $10,000 worth of time booking a flight,
yeah.
when you are getting paid $10,000 per 10 minutes,
Yeah.
booking a flight does not take any time
you,
at all.
You honestly don't have reason. You don't have
first of
a
all,
right to complain.
If somehow you don't have somebody doing it for you,
Right.
then you look at the $10,000 every 10 minutes you are making and go, oh, I don't care what I pay. And you just click what the closest thing you go on Travelocity and you go click. All right, I got it.
Yeah, I'm going. Yeah.
I didn't have to stress out about that at all.
Yeah.
Because I make $10,000 every 10 minutes.
Oh, now let's dial in
Oh my
Ann
God.
Coulter. You know her.
That was a mistake.
Damn it, autoplay.
Chris Evans.
Now,
was,
to clarify, I do not believe she makes $10,000 every 10
oh no,
minutes.
I
do not believe. I do
there
not.
would not be any justice in
I
this
do not
world
believe
if
she
did.
spent 6 months booking this flight.
Nice. Zing. Chris Evans, who plays Captain America, if you don't know who that is, but there's whatever, he responded to her. He said, I totally get it. It cost me $75,000 to brush my teeth. I must pre-select a brush, investigate types of paste, and periodically spit bullshit. I really like the fact that he is still somewhere in the mix when it comes to the crazy political shit that's going on.
Do you know who Ben Shapiro is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. When did you find out about Ben Shapiro?
I cannot tell you that. I cannot.
It was
I
a
don't
number
know
of years
eventually.
It was several years ago. Okay,
Yeah.
I only found out about him a couple of years, probably last year, maybe early the year before. Very tiny, pocket-sized conservative
Pocket-sized Jewish guy.
Pocket-sized conservative pundit who just just gets his dick hard for war, and
Yep.
also his
True
big
conservative. What happened?
and also he's the old time conservative baby boy. He got famous. He rose to prominence by being the virginity blogger, which I should have done. I should have.
He's
For the first 22
spent
years.
all those years not blogging about how I wasn't coming in ladies. I missed out.
I think you're owed reparations, sir.
Also, it took me a long time to grow to this tall. I also was short for a very long time. When I was a freshman in high school, I was 4'11".
What?
I'd say growth hormones. So I was also very short. I could have had this guy's career until I came, and then I could have given up because it's better. It's better, but so I didn't find out about it until a couple years ago. There is a Chris Evans tweet from 2013 that says, "I sincerely dislike Ben Shapiro." That's the whole tweet.
I love it.
Chris Evans is the best
of
the people involved in the Avengers. He's by far the best person.
Yeah.
We all agree with that.
Yeah. Well, all the Chris's are pretty good, but I'm always going to be a big fan of Chris Pratt, but Chris Evans. Yes, that's correct. That is the correct answer.
Chris Pratt has said some transphobic stuff.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
And also,
He worked at Cheddar's, I mean.
I
That's all he knows.
worked at Buffalo Wild Wings. No excuse.
Okay, that's true. Okay.
I know what a quote-unquote Canadian is. Doesn't excuse your current behavior.
That's a term I haven't heard in a long time. Okay. So, and Coulter, we all agree. Something else that we might or may not talk about, Kinham selling the Ark, the land for the thing.
Yeah.
To himself.
I love that. He
$10.
lit it up in a
$10.
rainbow to take the rainbow back.
Yeah.
Oh, man, he's so mad that only gay people get to fuck a rainbow. He's so mad. He's so mad. He doesn't realize, he doesn't have any idea what he's doing. He's just opening his Ark up to having 2 male members of every animal species come on board.
In each other.
Literally, yeah.
Come on
Off
board.
board,
Yeah.
on
On
board,
each other.
overboard. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
On others.
So he sold it to himself for $10. Is that that's the whole thing?
Yeah,
to avoid taxes.
I'm not going to go into the details. It's too deep of a well.
Okay, sure.
Of all
Isn't
the
this the
things.
second time he's tried to do some
It's,
shit like this?
it's the third time he's fucked over the taxpayers of Kentucky for millions of dollars.
For God.
Yeah.
The land.
'Cause Jesus.
Yeah,
Yeah, got it.
the land of the built-up park, which was subsidized by tax abatements. Then he got a thing where it's like, I don't have to pay any taxes on ticket revenue because it's a nonprofit or a church. Got sued, won, because the governor was super Jesus friendly and said, you know what, I'm not going to overturn that even though I could.
should.
And then the land itself. So he built the park on top of this land that he owned the land separately from the park being built on top of it. The land's worth about $48 million. He sold it to himself for $10. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So like just this year, he's cheated the taxpayers out of like millions and millions and millions, $50 million roughly of tax dollars.
Kentucky-
You know, but he's a
Kentucky-
moral guy.
Yeah.
You know, he's obviously because
He's doing it for Jesus. Yeah. Yeah.
Kentucky is the most fucked state. Like, is the state that is
Yeah.
the most
having lived there,
whose
yes, it's pretty
citizenry is the most fucked over by their elected
Oh,
representation.
fucked over. Most fucked. I
Most
think
fucked
we
over.
could give that to Florida. Florida is just hands down a fucked to death
Fucked-
pile.
fucked in
Yeah,
general.
burning
Yeah.
shit.
I'm with that.
But by the
Florida,
Yeah.
Florida doesn't have any weirder news than any other states. They just have a law that says
That says that
it's
they can-
yeah,
journalism
you
is
guys know
public
about this.
domain. You can.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just hear
Wait.
more about it. However,
I don't know that law. What was the end of that?
Basically, it's a law that says like police records are just immediately available to
to the public,
journalists.
to the journalism and
Okay.
public
Yeah.
domain.
Okay.
And when your state happens to have the most alligators, like the crime stories are going to be a little weirder.
Yeah.
Sure. Oh, it's like you were talking about
No, the
before.
place is legit fucked. Having
Yeah.
like been there multiple
But
times.
but
like
also
you were saying before about on the last show about like it's like the alligators are basically like they're homeless jokes.
Yeah.
It's like can't believe what this alligator did to me earlier. kind
But
of thing,
also, let's stop pretending that Florida is like getting some weird disease in the water because it dangles off the rest of the country. Let's start realizing, hey, turns out when you have a conservative governorship and conservative government running your state for a long period of time, people get fucked. Not to make this not funny, but here we go.
Well, let's take a break and we'll round up and come back. Bye.
Wipe the dust off the canvas and wait till we break.
Yeah, they didn't do Pretty Wonder Woman, which is good.
Tripping on his deep groove. And the night's new. What a feeling, what a nice mood. A bad boom rock. We're here to rock you.
Welcome back to the show, everybody.
Hey!
Segment 2, the
Sausage Festival.
Sausage Festival.
Sausage is amazing.
it
So,
is.
like, because of the sense of what we do in the show, since the third segment's usually the Fightin' 3, where we can talk about things that we might disagree on, I think, like, the second can still just be topics of stuff that we like. So, what's happened this week that we liked, that we were really happy about?
I have something. I don't know about really happy, but I have something to submit this very afternoon, shortly before driving to this location for this show. I saw Valerian.
that's right, yeah.
The
Yeah.
Luc Besson joint.
Yeah, so explain to me what Valerian is
Okay.
in Star Wars.
Valerian is to Star Wars French.
All right.
Oh.
Les Star Wars.
Oh, the titular line.
It was.
Yeah.
I don't know if it started. I think it was from the '80s. It might have predated that, but it was a French comic, sci-fi, just like that crazy pulpy sci-fi. I think it wound up showing up in like Heavy Metal magazine in the late '80s and
sure.
shit like that. I actually had a couple of those comics as a kid, but I couldn't read them because they were in French. But the art was neat, and like the ideas were obviously like really, really out there. They didn't pay much attention explaining anything.
Okay.
You know,
And
French.
so,
Yeah.
what I was hoping would happen with this movie is it would be like another Fifth Element, just an unrelated, super fantasy sci-fi,
One-shoot,
just
like,
one-shot
hard
thing.
sci-fi,
But it's
yeah.
Luc Besson.
Yeah.
Both of those. He did Fifth Element as well.
But it's also been like this has been a dream project of theirs for a long, long time.
Yeah, because it was a very popular comic in Europe for a very long time. And
but instead he made Taxi.
instead he made Taxi.
Thank you, Jimmy Fallon.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
What?
Who is this? Luc Besson?
Yeah, he was involved.
He did Taxi?
Yeah, with Queen Latifah. Jimmy
Man.
Fallon.
Oh,
Cool.
I was like, the TV show? I thought we liked
No, and there's also like 9 taxi movies that were all in French. That was Anyway,
Anyway.
sure. Yeah.
It's,
Sorry.
it's still very
I'm sorry I
novel.
threw a Fallon in there.
Yeah.
Always fucks everything up.
Yeah.
Just,
we have 2 more Fallons left in the show. Only used twice. Yeah.
So I will say this:
Beetlejuice.
it is likely going to continue to get heavily criticized because
all of his movies do.
the writing and the dialogue, especially at the beginning, if you don't understand, like this is exactly how it was in French, and it sounds a lot like it makes a lot more sense in French and doesn't translate well into English.
Okay.
You will think this is some of the worst shit you have ever seen because it's bad.
Because that's what I've heard so far. I've heard bad things about it so far.
But
so.
it is just like it is. If you're a CG fan or a CG artist, it's a fucking wet dream. It's beautiful, loads of visuals, loads of stuff. Everything that seems like it's out of place and dumb, they comment right directly after that this was out of place and dumb. Like, it's got humor to it. It's funny. Overall, I fucking enjoyed it. It was good. It was a good little like
Good.
Yeah, sounds
mindless
great.
sci-fi festival.
So Adam Rabik is not
So
not
that
interested so far.
that or
It's
Rogue
a-
One.
Just like so, the whole thing is like a direct.
I'd watch that again. Rogue One was just a big.
Is the whole thing like a clunky translation from French, or could they just not
No.
do a better job?
No, it's just like you can tell when they start diverging from like the comic book dialogue.
Okay.
There's a breaking point where because they mostly do it to try to quickly introduce characters, and it's always like that's always an awkward take. You don't do it that way. And if you're not going to explain this other crazy thing that just happened, why are you explaining this? Like, why are you even bothering? Just run with it.
The new alien is coming in. He's Jacobin.
There's a lot of those, but I like the nonchalance of it. Like when they meet like all these crazy new weird alien life forms and all this weird fucking shit they
Sure.
have to do.
Sure.
And like everyone's kind of whatever, you guys again. It works out. There's really neat little
You're not
technology.
selling it really well, but I'm glad you liked it. Yeah.
You can't sell it well. Luc Besson can't sell it well.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
American audiences are going to by and large hate it.
Sure.
And you probably all will too, but it's worth a watch.
Okay.
I enjoyed it, but I also enjoyed the story.
I want to
When-
say
when it
pure
was in heavy
pure capitalist Americans will not hate it because the movie's already profitable before it even was released.
I don't see how, man. The sheer special effects
No, we
budget,
talked about this a
Jesus.
couple of weeks ago. There
gonna
was
be
some weird back end
a
deal
mood.
where you get the whole damn thing financed and paid for up front. Like, no, it's just done.
Oh, okay.
So like the way it was
No stress whatsoever.
Like the way the financing was set up was
Perfect French
the company who I guess his company. It's like, all right, we get the money, we win. It's like it can't lose money basically. The way they did some weird, whatever they did with their money, they some very convoluted thing they did.
How do we do that?
They,
Because like I know a person with a great
with the green screen.
a great idea for an elevator movie. So
Oh yeah.
with the specialist
I
named
do,
Brintley.
I do applaud. I did hear that.
Can we
Fucking brilliant
Keanu
idea.
do like a little cameo? Like,
A Keanu.
yeah, cameo.
Keanu Mo?
Yeah.
the
sushi.
elevator buttons at one point they all light up in the shape of a smile, and Tom Hanks talks to it for several hours.
Ah,
He cries when he gets off the elevator
Yeah.
and it goes
Yeah.
back down again. Yeah.
It's a frowny face then.
My best friend. Adam Rick, what was the last movie you saw in theaters?
Baby Driver.
Baby Driver. What'd you think?
I enjoyed it. It was
Yep.
fun. I was expecting much funnier out of Edgar Wright.
For sure.
It was not like
Yeah.
a straight up comedy at all. I was anticipating that, but it was not. It was still really good. I like the thing they did with the music. I think maybe it would have been enjoyable if they had like done that more, like to a stronger degree.
Right.
I think. Because like after the first or second scene, I was kind of like preparing for this whole thing to just be basically a musical, but it like wasn't
That's true.
the
It got
whole
a little
time.
La La Land
There were
in
like
some
some of the heavier action sequences. The music I didn't think was as prominent, because that's what that's what the movie was about, was music.
Yeah,
And like
yeah.
some
His
like
life around it. And,
your relationship to sound.
And how it completely colors your relationship with your car.
Yeah, I did enjoy the Kevin Spacey line where he draws an entire diagram while he's having a conversation,
Yeah,
and then he
yeah.
comments on it, because
Any questions?
people in movies do that, and that's impossible. Like you cannot do that.
Yeah, yeah.
I can't write my own name and have and I can't write my own
Before an
name
audience.
and say to somebody else anything except for my own name.
yeah. And this is a pure diagram. And basically, like
Yeah.
the main purpose of the joke is that someone's complaining to Kevin Spacey's character about Baby Driver or Baby himself, and while the
Why
guy,
are you such a window baby? Like it was like
basically, yeah.
it was like if it was like if babies were being denied civil rights right now, and this was like the movie that they were like get babies civil rights. He's just a baby. He can't drive.
Yeah, I feel like the same thing is like it. I'm a big Edgar Wright fan, and I knew going into it I would have to see it twice because
He hid something in here, damn it.
No, not like that. Because the first 5 minutes, my friend Matt was sitting next to me, and I grabbed his leg, and I was like, just to hold on and tell him, basically tell
Because
nobody.
Baby Driver was driving too
I
fast.
had to tell
Yeah.
no.
Slow down. You're just a baby.
I had to tell basically.
That's a wet lie.
I had to tell basically. I had to tell the middle space that I needed to calm down because I was enjoying the first 5 minutes so fucking much that I immediately knew that I was not going to be able to be critical about the movie at all. Like the second time, for sure, I'll be able to actually look at it and like recognize things looking back at it. But like that first all the way through was like, it was like watching Scott Pilgrim for the first time. Actually, I just loved the fuck out of that movie so much that I just felt like it was perfect, and I know it's not. You know, mentally,
Yeah.
nothing.
Oh my god! That was my favorite movie for a long time.
Yeah.
I tried watching it again like this year, and it's just I don't. I
No,
don't.
it's a one. It's just like the comic. It's a one shot go. I mean,
It's
it's
still-
brilliant that time through.
It's
but
still a very well directed movie.
Absolutely, yeah.
I appreciate the transitions in that movie more than I think any other movie I've seen.
Yeah.
But a lot of weird notes to it. A lot of,
Yeah,
a lot of weird choices.
A lot of weird choices. yeah. And so it's like it's like the exact opposite of Chris Nolan movies, in my opinion. It's like a Chris Nolan movie that, well, I guess maybe I'm wrong about that. Because every Chris Nolan movie has a problem, but you don't watch it you don't notice it until probably like the fifth time you've seen it, and then it's a fucking glaring.
Then
big
you
plot
never
hole
unsee
problem.
it?
Yeah, you never unsee
Yeah.
it.
That's
Which is fine.
it's intentional.
Just watch it 4 times, or it's intentional. Yeah.
see, like the last couple of Chris Nolan movies I've seen, I've noticed something right away, and I will go, but this is a good movie. Like somehow, like that's neoliberalism. Neoliberalism has convinced everybody that Christopher Nolan movies are just good. And you go into a Christopher Nolan movie and you said, I saw the preview. The graphics were very good. They made the blah sound. So I know serious things happen.
That's right.
This is gonna be good. Matthew, it's the McConaissance. It's the McConaissance. It's his time. This is going to be a good movie because they were in the middle of the McConaissance. Did you? Thank you.
Every time you say
And then
McConaissance, yeah.
And then you watch it and you go, I don't know if that was good. Like it was very good when like space was curving. That was very cool. But it was like love was the thing.
Isn't it always?
You go into you dive headfirst into a black hole. You play the string theory sitar and you bang on the wall to your daughter. And then you go on a trap
In the
door.
past.
Yeah, in the past. And then you go on a trap door, and your daughter's an old lady. And she's like making fun of you for being gone so long. And you're like, come on. It's like very rude of her.
Yeah.
But she's also dying, so you don't really have time to say like, hey, can we? Yeah,
Can we sit down and talk about
I'm
this?
your dad.
Like-
I'm your dad. I can
Yeah.
do a little.
Did you go through a black hole and basically
I
save
shrank
everything?
myself into
Oh my
a
God.
bookshelf for love for you bitch. I may respect your father.
I have always wanted to like go through a black hole. I definitely want to see what it's like. It'd be
Sure.
awesome.
I think mostly it's death
Well,
like,
the Transformers movie.
well
didn't
before you
didn't
get through it.
Not the Michael Bay ones, but wasn't there a cartoon Transformers thing that talked about that? Like actually,
I didn't watch
No.
the cartoon Transformers. That was before my time.
that was way
but-
before your time. Yeah.
I don't
That
know.
was
maybe.
before my time.
So obviously it's Comic-Con weekend, so there's a bunch of shit coming out.
We're not there.
Bunch of shit. We're
Bunch
not.
of shit.
I mean, because it's so
Bunch
expensive.
of cum.
It's like $1,400 for the full fucking pass.
I know.
all
and-
over your face.
And like, you don't get the tickets aren't even available until the month prior.
Nerd.
And the hotels run out basically next week. Like next week, if we don't have a hotel for next year,
You don't have
we're
a
sleeping
hotel.
we're sleeping on couches or homeless. You know.
Nerd culture is the resurgence or like bringing to prominence of nerd culture into the mainstream is the last grasp of a dying capitalist system.
This is where we have to
Seize
include.
hold.
This is where we include Tom Sawyer over his monologue.
Oh, that's true. yeah. Real Tom Sawyer. Tim, actually, can you do a Sailor and Coke instead? Thank you. But there was some stuff that was released. It was kind of interesting. The new Justice League trailer came out. If you guys haven't seen that yet, it is a trailer for a Justice League movie. It looks like it's big and ponderous.
So is Affleck out?
That was the next thing.
Did everybody here see and hate Wonder Woman?
Yeah, I didn't like Wonder Woman at all.
It was not good.
It was not good.
It was
I
not
haven't seen
good.
It was the best of the DC movies so far, I think.
That's not a
On-
high bar.
Exactly. But I think that's what people wanted. They were like, anything better than what I've seen so far.
It
They're
was
like,
it was not. It did not wallow in the grimy depths of
Right.
whatever Zack Snyder thinks is like. Oh, this is brooding. This is edgy.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, he's sad. Yes. It did not do that.
yeah.
Even though it was like in the middle of World War One, like the most, the deadliest, most stupid like tragedy to ever happen to the world.
Yeah.
And it was like, damn, she is fucking brave.
Well, I kept getting
look
annoyed.
at look at all those idiot soldiers that have been like sitting in the trenches and dying for 6 months.
Yeah.
All
Yeah,
they
all
had
you
to
need is a,
tur-
all you need is a hidden island of people with spears and bows and arrows and
turns
shit.
out all they needed was a little spunk, and they could have crossed no man's land.
Well,
Yeah.
I kept getting annoyed
Moxie.
by like I don't consider myself to be like
Moxie.
a person who like dips too far into social justice in a lot of ways, but I still felt like Chris Pine explained a lot about who she should have been throughout the fucking movie, and it was like, so this is what you're saying? This is the best feminist movie you've ever
Chris
seen?
Was
Pine-
mansplained?
Yeah.
Chris Pine's character was the pilot of the movie to the point that they made him an actual pilot. I don't know if you noticed this. I don't know if you noticed this, but Wonder Woman is an Amazon. Like they're an Amazon people. They're all very tall women. Wonder Woman was taller than everybody she ever faced, except for Chris Pine. Chris Pine was taller than her.
Yeah.
They didn't give her like special high boots to walk on when she was next to Chris Pine. They let him be taller than her because like he is the one good man.
Right.
He is the one good man to establish that there can still be good men. We can't just have this woman take over without establishing that, hey, there are some fucking good guys still. There's some good guys out there.
Yeah.
There's some nice guys.
Some
just-
nice tall guys.
There's some nice guys out there just want to make an honest lady out there. Yeah.
You don't know what guys are exactly, but you want to look up to him, right? Literally. And also, like, and I knew I was in for some
Oh,
trouble.
man.
I knew I was in for trouble because of the scene where, like, Chris Pine is taking a bath, and she walks in, and he's completely naked, and they had to have that, like, goofy moment where she's, like, seeing a penis for the first time because, obviously, that's...
Oops, sorry, I'm naked. Hope he didn't think about making me come. Ooh, oops.
Right. I mean, it felt like that the whole time. It was like...
Yeah.
And on the production level, like I
Like
said this
Chris
before,
Pine was almost naked in front of Wonder Woman at a harasser's level.
yes.
At a level that would get someone to hire a PI to watch it.
Back when men were men, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, they couldn't decide.
And also,
what,
can we hang out
and
with my
men were
buddies?
naked.
Your mission is to go beat this guy, but can I get some bro time in too? Like that drove me fucking crazy. It's like my best friends. We're gonna like do. Hey, let me introduce you to my buddies.
To my really generic friends.
yeah, whatever.
also, I feel like they
Wow.
couldn't decide how to like cleverly introduce Wonder Woman into this new world without making her seem like completely stupid and naive, which
Yes.
you would be.
she's not clumsy though. You know,
But
like
they couldn't decide. She's not clumsy. She didn't like knock things over, which is fortunate.
But she couldn't figure out the objective space for a shield to walk through a fucking
they
door.
They like
what? You seen that trailer where she's like trying to walk out with her shield and her sword?
I haven't seen any of this.
Okay. Well,
they switched back and forth between making her special needs and like autistic.
Yeah.
Like she would either be a baby and like just fawn at a baby, not understand that you just can't bring a 4-foot sword into Macy's. And then when they had to make her like, can't be stupid here. She's got to be smart. She just like ignores all social cues. Like has no shame, no acknowledgement to like. It was kind of fascinating, and man,
it's bad.
It's bad. It's a bad movie.
It's truly a bad movie.
But they did avoid her playing the "I'm a fish out of water. I'm tripping over these new high heels."
That was good.
Yeah.
They didn't.
Why do you do this to yourselves, ladies?
Yeah, they didn't do Pretty Wonder Woman, which is good. That was at least a good step in the right direction.
Let's take another break. We'll come back and do some Fighting 3 and beeps.
All right.
Sean Spicer is Jonah from Veep in 10 years.
Welcome back to the show, buddy.
Hey!
Segment 3, the Fighting 3. Still hanging out, of course, with Dylan. Still hanging with Adam .hrabik. We are in the third segment, so we can still talk about things.
Fight about them.
And fight about them if we want to. So something that I'm glad to hear, actually, Todd from the Foreign Correspondence was just out here, and I'm glad to hear that Ben Affleck is not walking away from the Batman series. Because
just yet,
but it's like the only thing I think DC has done right, because I like him. I don't think he's the best Batman, but I think he is a really good fucking Batman.
We've talked about it before.
It's like if Tony Stark walked for this fucking first Iron Man movie, and like I don't think the rest of the MCU would be as interesting. Like,
no,
at least for me.
who the fuck else is going to play him?
Yeah, he's not. That's just Rob Downey Jr.'s not acting anymore.
Yeah,
especially now that he's a bajillionaire from all the money he's made making the Marvel movies.
Sure.
He literally is Tony Stark now.
I think Jeffrey Dean Morgan would make a good late period Iron Man, like a good just drunk on his way out.
yeah.
Iron
Well,
Man.
that's the one thing that Robert Downey Jr. doesn't have that Tony Stark does is oppressive alcoholism anymore. Because he
used to.
He used to. Yeah, he's been there, so he knows how to channel.
Yeah,
it.
he had that. He had that one movie where he was drunk at his own party one time. Like that's when you know you have a problem.
Yeah.
It's like, can you just film this? Yeah.
Like, hey, you got drunk at a party? Oh boy, you should talk to somebody.
You know, Burger King was the reason why he got help.
Yeah.
Have you heard that story?
That's the urban legend, I guess.
The urban legend is that he walked into a Burger King because he was so fucking strung out on crack or coke or whatever it was at the time.
And he was about to collapse, and then the Burger King Kids Club kid with a wheelchair was like, "Here, have mine."
Oh, Wheels.
I like
Wheels.
It is
Wheels was like, "Here you go."
Shit. I like your version better.
Well, I did grow up with Burger King. That was
That's
the
true.
thing.
You worked at a Burger King too.
That was my first job. Was at a Burger
Really?
King. In Florida, over the summer.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It was a bad idea.
The Burger King Kids Club were basically like the garbage pail kids, like cleaned up.
Who got help?
Yeah, they got help. They were the pan ads. Yeah.
They were pan ads, yeah. Big shout out to that. Also, might as well just say contentpending.com, threadless.com.
He's saying you can buy merch.
You can buy merch.
Yes,
like some
merchandise.
stuff, and some people. We also do some shirts and stuff, and like whatever. Yes. Sorry.
We have an open contest too. Anyone who buys a shower curtain gets. We reimburse you.
You can get the DrunkCast logo literally on so much shit, but you can actually literally get it on a shower curtain.
Yeah, and if you do that,
and we've
capture an image of the shower curtain hung up and the image of your significant other's reaction when they see it.
Well, the actual contest is a lot simpler. It's like basically take a picture of that and send it to us. It's proving it's
proof
a
of
thing.
purchase, yeah.
And we'll buy it back from you. And then the 50th person will also buy it back from you. Basically, we'll give you the money for it.
I think we were going to double their money.
Oh, that's right. It's going to be $100. Like I think it's like we will.
If
double.
you buy a DrunkCast Live shower curtain, we will. And if you're the 50th person to do so,
you will get double your money.
No, not shower curtain. 50th person to make any purchase at all. Let's be reasonable.
Yeah,
okay.
I don't see 49 other people.
But we haven't sold one yet.
But the shower curtain just doesn't make any sense. That's the reason why I like the contest.
It does when there's the 3 pins moon on it.
Oh well, it doesn't count for 3 pins moon. So.
Fuck.
Yeah, only drunk guys like.
How much more would it be than to make a shower curtain? Would it be to make a toilet seat cover?
It should be cheaper.
It might be in the show. I haven't checked.
It depends what you make it out of, I
Yes,
guess.
that might be a possibility.
It's a very
But
Threadless has a very deep well of merch that you can buy with our stuff.
I think the
our
cheapest
logos
way
on
to
it.
go would be one of those fuzzy ones, and then have like an embroidered patch in the middle.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That'd probably be the cheapest way to go.
Oh, yacht club style.
classier
Yeah.
too. Yeah.
Yeah.
I used to have a SpongeBob toilet seat cover that was furry like that.
It was fuzzy like that.
Yeah.
So what is that for exactly? Like, is it for your significant other to like hang out and talk to you while you're in the shower?
I
like,
got it because I was drunk at Walmart and said, "Oh, SpongeBob toilet seat
No,
cover."
I don't mean
Fuck
that.
yeah.
I mean like the general purpose of a toilet seat cover that's fuzzy to be comfortable to sit on.
I have no idea.
It's nice.
It is nice, but it's
It's
like I don't
nice.
understand it at all. You know?
Yeah.
Wait,
well,
the puffy ones?
Yeah.
That's for old people.
No. The covers, not the actual seats.
Oh.
well,
Yeah.
that was
Puffy
like
ones, of course.
the 70s was also the days of like shag carpet and stuff, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
curtains,
Yeah,
mesh drapes,
well,
whatnots. Yeah.
Embroidered tissue boxes, for example.
Well, I mean, everybody was.
Macrame.
Yeah.
I mean,
got heavy, man.
Here's the thing: everybody's always been doing drugs, but in the '70s, particularly, people were doing drugs.
That's true.
And like when you're on drugs, what feels better than like a shag carpet you can roll on,
Yeah.
and then a fuzzy toilet seat that you can just plop your buns down.
And a bathtub
And
full
just,
of ice
a
cubes.
bathtub of ice cubes.
After somebody takes your kidney.
Actually,
or
I mean, I
whatever.
did this recently. We were setting up a little podcast studio space at my place to like do the content pending thing for people who want to like. If you want to do your own podcast or whatever, contact me. We can talk about pricing and things. But we have a nice little studio space for it. But when I was looking at it, I was looking for a table that was easy to move around. It's this white table from IKEA. And the white was just so white that it was like kind of picnicky to me. And so when we were walking through the rug section, because it's a large rug section, I found this green shag that kind of looked like grass, like AstroTurf or something.
Ooh.
And so I put that down around it. And so it's like this nice little picnic feel. And so today, because I was very hungover and I was doing so much stuff, I walked in that room. It's the coldest room in the house, and it's like 170 fucking billion outside. And I walked in that room and I looked at that carpet and I laid down on it for a long time, and it fucking felt great. I just laid and just thought.
And that's why you put shag covered.
That's why you
toilet
put
seats.
shag on top of your toilets. Yeah.
Yeah.
Then I shot a bunch of heroin.
Yeah. I mean, well,
Laid down on the shag.
not a bunch. I only had a little bit left, but
I bet it's easier to
joke.
like get over constipation if you have a fuzzy toilet seat to sit on. I bet that relaxes you a bit.
I mean, sure. Well, not the seat though, because that's like contamination. That's a problem. You don't want that kind of porous thing to be around. I'm just thinking about the actual seats, because like the cover, you set that thing down, and now it's unfunctional. Not non-functional. It's an unfunctional thing. It's like now it's like a chair with
It's a thing
a really
Yeah.
uncomfortable back.
Well, no, you have the seat covered too.
Yeah.
And like it's fine.
I mean, it's fine. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, how many shits like in a given month do you take that are like splattery? Like maybe one.
Yeah.
So
Not enough,
you
you're
clean
right.
up after that one,
See,
and you're fine.
I'm not that optimistic about the density of the stuff that floats around. I've always felt if you can smell it, it's inside you. So I'm concerned about any kind of porous things like glass
I
is fine,
see.
tile is fine, but like
You think it soak up the odors?
Yeah.
Okay.
Things that can
Oh.
be superheated and cleansed in
Yes.
like an autoclave or something.
yeah. That's why I have the autoclave. I mean,
Well, just watch
For your toilet seat,
watch
sure.
the cover, you silly goose.
yeah. That's right. I should do more
Look, I'm
laundry. I
trying
guess
to
is what you're
promote
saying.
my new line of toilet seat covers.
But my arthritis prevents me from scrubbing hard.
It's
It's Uber
yeah.
for toilet cleaning, or Uber for toilet cover cleaning. Oh, we'll figure it out in post. Available eventually at contentpending.com.
It's Uber for toilet seat covers, which means that if you want a toilet seat cover but you can't really afford one, I put you on a payment plan that's
A
equivalent
hand-me-down list?
to that's equivalent to a subprime loan on this toilet seat cover. And you walk around telling people how great my fucking toilet seat covers are, and then when you can't make payments anymore, I'm gonna take the toilet seat cover away from you, and I'm gonna give it to somebody else.
Yeah.
Man, they're going to crash the economy.
It's an
with
investment
this.
in opportunity for sure.
No, he's going to get a government bailout for that.
That's true.
That's
Yeah.
genius.
Yeah.
Too big
Thank
to fail. Too big to flush.
Yeah, too big. Yeah,
Too big to flood.
Oh no.
Yeah, well, turlets.
Yeah, we're talking about turlets. Yeah, that's mostly my fault at this point.
It's your one time of the year.
Yeah, so Justice League trailer 2. I mean, this is like, there's a lot of nerd stuff going on too. So like at Rabik specifically, like if this is too much comics, you can tell me if anything else that happened this week that you were interested in.
Ooh, what? Let's see. Sean Spicer quits.
Yeah,
Why-
spicy.
He,
We knew
yeah,
you didn't have it in you, buddy.
like it's weird that he has any pride left.
Mm-hmm.
Like it seems like a very prideful thing to have quit in the way that he did.
Yeah.
But it's nothing else he's done in his entire period of time as press secretary makes me believe that he has a shred of pride left.
Yes.
No, I don't think any of these
Zero
guys
evidence.
start out. with
This is
pride.
like the one thing that made him quit. Do you is it possible that he was like forced out? Because
Oh,
it's,
yeah, of course.
everything I've heard says he resigned.
He resigned immediately afterwards.
Voluntarily.
Yeah.
People are like saying welcome back from the other side, Sean. Like he didn't like voluntarily take this job in what he knew was the most despicable administration that's ever existed.
Yeah.
Like he deserves no credit for quitting. Fuck you. Just finish it out. If you're gonna be press secretary, you knew what you were getting into, and also like you were the Easter Bunny for the White House. Like you are.
Yeah.
You are fully.
That's not necessarily entirely true because
You are fully
He
Jonah.
was the Easter Bunny. Yeah.
This is Jonah from Veep. Like Sean Spicer is Jonah from Veep in 10 years.
Except less likable, and that's really hard to do.
Yeah, it's astounding how
viciously.
incompetent he is
Yeah.
at every level of his job. And he is a communications specialist who cannot communicate with anybody, and also is working with an administration who was not giving him any information to give out, and he didn't know how to even handle that. You don't. He acted like he was like a coward sticking up for a dictator. Like
that's exactly
And
that's
now-
exactly
Yeah.
what he was. But the whole point.
I'm gonna go with Adam on that one. That's
My-
pretty much
My
that
point is, like,
sums it up.
how many
Yeah.
how many people
Moving
has Trump appointed to positions that are like clearly the opposite of what you want in that position? Like
All of them?
here's
I mean, all of them.
a motherless or a childless woman who has no basis in education
Not
has
childless.
never worked.
She's not childless.
Oh, is she?
Yeah,
Oh.
her kids
Well,
are,
that's good. At least there's
No,
that.
but she's only believed in homeschool her entire existence, and
her kids are homeschooled too.
and she actually like funds like finance companies that do borrow
Right.
lending for.
But
so she makes
all-
money off
she
students.
is-
well,
she
I can devil's advocate that pretty easily though.
she is so far removed from what the job she was given
Oh, that's true.
it like handles what the job she is given deals in.
Yeah.
That she is the worst possible choice, and
And then
yet there she is.
Rick Perry.
Rick Perry, fucking Rick fucking Perry.
Running the department that he couldn't remember. Yeah.
Yeah,
he wanted
I
that he
think-
couldn't remember
yeah.
and wanted to get rid of.
Yeah.
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 And then just recently there was some like non-scientist running some department.
Another climate denier. Yeah.
There's the dude from Oklahoma who's being Tom Price. That's the guy from Georgia.
Yeah.
No, he's something.
But some
there's
kind
so-
of
there's so many.
Secretary of
There's so
Science,
many.
like,
here's the problem that I have with what's going on, especially when it comes to spicy, is that I'm worried what's going to happen because the energy of irony on the internet is so mean,
so potent.
and so potent that the problem is that he's going to come out looking like Ken Bone, that he's going to be this laughable, goofy, fuck up jerk ass who's like, oh, he was fine the whole time because we're not going to be able to
and
pay
then get,
attention to
and
it.
get a shitload of
but
public
We know
support.
for a fact that he was not fine the whole time because
Yeah.
he was able to do any of this. Well,
But we don't. I don't think we think that Sean Spicer was fine. The whole,
I think eventually what's going to happen is he's going to be like, oh, it's because of the Melissa McCarthy thing, you know, like
Yeah.
Let me
because
explain.
he's been a parody.
Supposedly,
you know?
he already has
I was
opportunities
a-
lined up to be.
I was
a
a hapless.
spokesperson on Fox
I was
or
a
something.
hapless man put into a bad circumstance.
Yeah.
Right.
What can I tell you?
Yeah.
Right.
What can I tell you?
Yeah.
I hid in the bush.
You sure fucking do.
Sure did. I hid in the bush.
Did you see Bill Clinton
Just like my mama
hiding
told
between
me.
two bushes? That was awesome.
Clinton coming out of the bushes.
Yeah.
It was a great simple meme of a man in a ghillie suit on a bicycle, and it was like Sean Spicer leaving the White House. It's a big green ghillie suit. Like he takes the bush everywhere he goes. Sure, but it's like that kind of thing where it's like eventually like some kind of human pride eventually like has sympathy. Like eventually we have sympathy, and we think like if it's not sympathy, it's a funny joke, and so like eventually we might think of Sean Spicer as like he did his best. You know,
I mean,
like,
based on how quickly people in the face of Trump were willing to throw their arms around George W. Bush, I would say you're not wrong, at least in what the effect will be. I think the reason is different.
Yeah.
And the reason is that, like, the idea of Trump is so detestable to such a class, the media class, that any departure they will embrace. Like somebody, like it's like Sean's. Yeah. It's like instead of quitting his job as press secretary for Donald Trump, it's like he was like running out of the back door of the Waco compound, like into the arms of FBI agents. Like, I need to tell my story. It was horrible in there.
One at a time. Yes. Yeah. I don't know.
It's so emancipating. It's a true story of will survive.
Yeah.
Like, no, took a job for a douche and he's terrible at it.
He's gonna go write a book from a bush.
And the press secretary always has the fucking hardest job, and still no sympathy for him because of who he is. Wait, actually, was that the?
But also, like, how often do presidents go through press secretaries?
Actually, very
like,
often.
Several. Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Every president has. If you have 8 years as president, you probably had like 5 or 6 press secretaries.
That's normal.
Right. That's normal. Yeah. But this is a fucking huge deal. Like, well, it's happening.
Well, I think
it's all
a
happening.
Huge deal. But I think nothing else because of Spicy, in particular, his relationship with the press.
Right.
And he was so no, biggest ever. You're stupid. No, one at a time, act like grown-ups. Like he couldn't
fucking baby about everything.
He couldn't spin at all for shit. There was also it's a bad situation, but I think Travis, you're right. At some point, the media will exonerate him as one of their own.
Yeah,
and go, well, he was hired to a job.
When he
his
comes
job
back,
was tough.
like, he never wanted to do that to us ever at all.
Well, you saw the thing. It was like 53% of Trump supporters do not believe that Trump Jr. sent an email to that Russian person, even though he admitted it.
He was the one who actually leaked it.
53%?
He personally put it on the interwebs, and he personally, there's on film going, maybe I shouldn't have sent that.
Yeah. But 53% of their people do not believe.
It's literally
another martini, please. Me.
Martini, are you a left coast, sir? I'm an American. I'm from Omaha.
You know he's drinking. You know his bitch ass drinks martinis. Come on, man.
Let's take another break. We'll come back and do some toasts. And probably.
It's part of this publicity class I'm taking. I'm paying $90 a week.
And the night's new. What a feeling. What a nice mood. A bam boom rock. We're here to rock you. It's like, damn, what a vibe. Woo. I got my own.
Welcome back to the show, buddy.
Oh, that wasn't recorded? Man, that was some good content.
Oh, it was.
It's there.
It's there.
But it's live now. We're back to the show.
Back to life.
We got toasts and stuff. So there's this is the time to talk about anything we fucking missed. Anything we want to talk about that we really wanted to talk about. Something else. Things and things. Just watched the Bright trailer, which is a Netflix movie. The Stranger Things trailer, Stranger Things 2, which is coming in October or whatever.
God, I hope they don't fucking step on my dick.
Yeah, me too.
That's all we can hope for, right?
Oh, they will. Yeah, it's going to be bad. Like, Netflix is not...
It should at least
Netflix
qualify.
does not do 2 seasons well.
Yeah.
It should at least
Netflix
try to meet the first season, which is going to be hard in and of itself because that was fucking great. I'm just worried it's just not going to measure up. People are going to be like, well, it wasn't as good.
13 episodes is too long. It's too much.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Well, I think for that show in particular, lightning in the bottle kind of thing, you capture the nostalgia, you capture something that was unique, it was good storytelling, you had all the right people, right place. You won.
Now you've waited long enough for all those kids to grow up a little bit more.
So it's a one-time shot.
Yeah.
Well, there's certain kinds of passion that goes into pet projects or things that probably wouldn't work that Netflix, like so the first season, you can say, like, perhaps these people really wanted it to happen, and then the second season they're like, it's like doing the second of anything, really. Like, so how did we succeed before that?
Yeah.
But if they were successful, then there's a certain kind of like, there's no one tugging, like there's no hernia involved anymore. Like now they're just like they can make a thing, and they don't understand why they were scared of it not succeeding before. You know, like the fear is still real, but it's not the same thing as like I might not eat tomorrow if this fucking pilot doesn't work.
They've already
You know?
got their payout.
Yeah, they already got their payout.
Yeah, for round 2.
It's like
so
it's
does
like,
that do you let complacency set in at that point versus actually, doubling down on your idea that you had and make it better and make
I think in Hollywood, I think it's called cocaine.
That's what I mean. You spend it on cocaine. Yeah, that's right.
So that's stuff that I can think of. Like Adam, anything that happened this week that you like really want to talk about?
No, not really. We kind of
covered it all. Yeah.
Kind of covered it all. OJ got out. That's good.
Sure.
He's not out yet.
Well, I mean, soon,
but he's going to be out. That's good. I was listening to a very interesting interview. District Sentinel Radio is like the podcast I was listening to.
Okay.
They were talking to somebody, a sports writer from The Nation, I think, and he was saying how like the documentaries that came out last year. Well, the 5-part documentary,
versus,
the 5-part documentary, O.J. Simpson Made in America, and also like.
Oh yeah.
And also, like, the FX show, People versus O.J. Simpson,
Yeah.
like, gave a lot of depth to O.J. that maybe he didn't even deserve.
Okay. Sure. Yeah.
It was an interesting way to phrase it because, like, not like, especially, and he also brought up like Colin Kaepernick not being able to get a job in the NFL because of his outspoken activism.
Right.
He's chosen activism over football. It's his choice. And how now O.J. Simpson...
They're both cults.
Because
so.
During the O.J. Simpson trial, O.J. Simpson had a lot of racial tension projected onto him. Like a lot of racial tension, especially in the L.A. area, like rode on whether or not O.J. was going to be found guilty or not guilty.
Yeah.
So it kind of became this... some people saw like maybe not necessarily deserving like public figure for for racial tensions,
Right.
and now he's out of prison, and he's going to get a lot of media attention when he gets out.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, Colin Kaepernick he's actually like been out there like fighting for people's rights,
Actually fighting for it.
actually fighing for it,
Like jeopardizing his job, for example.
No, people have asked him straight up, if you never get to play in the NFL again because of your views and because of your outspokenness, is that going to be something you're okay with? And he's like, yeah, if that's what it comes to, I believe what I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know. He is much easier for the media to ignore. O.J. Simpson is going to be something that the media is going to be latching onto.
And they did that to themselves. For
the
6-9 months of nothing but OJ coverage.
Yeah, if you watch the O.J. Simpson documentary, the last part of it was basically like after his acquittal, he basically went to Florida. He sold his house. He went to Florida to basically like avoid having to pay the Goldmans any money. That's why he moved to Florida. He started living this like insane life where he would just do cocaine and make rap videos. And get involved with the kind of people who would just like go into a Las Vegas hotel with guns and like steal back some merchandise that he had sold while he was in prison, to like pay for his legal team.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's why he was in jail.
Yeah. No. Yeah. That failed heist or whatever. Yeah. Yeah.
And so I'm wondering if there is going to be like a third chapter, because it has been a
podcast. It's going to start off as a podcast.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And Juice, if you're listening, we do produce podcasts.
Yeah.
If you need some help with that, we can.
I don't come on DrunkCast every week. There is an opening for a guest spot, Mr. Simpson.
We will provide our own gloves.
If you would like to help my friends Travis and Dylan out with a little publicity, I've got a great idea for you.
I'm not sure I ever want that kind of publicity. I would like to go to Southern California at some point in my life.
Why don't you tell them all about elevators? So
I think think we're ready for shots. It's time for toast. Adam
shoot some.
Rabik, what should we toast this week?
I've not been feeling good. I've read a few articles about climate change, about like nuclear destruction lately. I've not been feeling good about our chances, our future.
Yeah.
Really not good at all. But I do know that we're all still here.
Mm-hmm.
We're all still here for the foreseeable future, regardless of what's going to happen. So I want to say
To a slow and painful doom?
I don't want to. No. I don't want to overstep my bounds. I don't want to be. I don't want to be overly optimistic, but I do want to have a positive outlook. So here's to the next 4 years.
Yes. To the next 4 years.
To the next 4 years.
All right.
Cheers to that for sure. Ooh. Yeah. Welcome back.
Melanie.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode of DrunkCast Live.
One last little note.
Yeah, please.
Martin Landau and George Romero.
Yeah.
we lost some mega forces.
And
in
John
movies.
Hurd.
Yeah,
And John
Hurd.
Yeah.
I actually think it's funny too because like 2016 was the metaphor of a monster for killing all these people, but I feel like 2017 has been pretty bad.
Yeah,
Like,
it's no slouch.
2017 is going to be a silent killer.
right.
She's taking some prisoners. That's
Well,
for
I've been
sure.
on the Reddit for 2016.
Both because it's going to be a deaths by institutional changes, and also
Sure.
because nobody talks about Syria. So,
Sure. Yeah.
so
We don't have time
the
for Syria.
many people who are suffering over there are never going to be noticed by the American public.
Mhm. It's fun. It's fun.
That's Rabik.
Hey. I think you started the show by saying I was one of your favorite people.
No, it's true. It's still true.
So.
It's still true. They never stopped. Thanks so much for coming and hanging out with us.
Thank you for bringing me back on.
Of course,
Yay.
anytime. It's just been some period of time, especially since the South by show, where we just everything was just booked forever, and finally being able to get you back on is fucking great.
Oh, you don't have to make excuses.
Okay, well,
It's actually in his contract. Just
yeah,
go with it. Just
that-
go with it.
That's my thing, man.
Yeah, it's part of this publicity class I'm taking. I'm paying $90 a week to be better at presenting a public face. So
Yeah.
I tell people I apologize to all my guests, regardless of what happened.
Well, Steve
even
Martin's
if we've
hosting the
never met
class, so it's fine.
before.
Yeah, I blanket apologies. That's a good place to start.
Where can we find you online?
Twitter.com/arabik. Also search for WOWT's Rusty Lord. That's my display name for the foreseeable future.
With the tornado.
Yep.
Yes, with a tornado. Yeah, that's the way to find me. I'm on Facebook. When does this come out?
It'll come out next week.
Next
Yeah.
week. Okay. I'm on Facebook, and you can search for my new project that I'm working on. Oh God, I feel gross now. Yeah, I haven't called it a project. I'm a new project.
Well, you didn't say product.
I did not say product.
It's okay to say project.
No.
Project's a real thing.
Product sounds like I'm
You could have
selling a
said
carton of eggs.
Your new joint.
right.
My new carton of eggs. Everybody would.
You start saying product right after you talk to a marketing person.
the product. THA product is what I mean.
The
Yeah, what's the name of the blog?
Dumb Dead Presidents
Yeah.
on .tumblr.com. I'm just doing a thing where I make fun of all the presidents because it's fun and it eases, it gets rid of some of my frustration.
Sure. Yeah.
It's a fun thing for me to do.
Yeah. Cool.
And you're doing homework too. You're not just like saying dumb shit. You're actually digging deep.
I'm saying dumb shit.
Yeah, but it's not like you're not doing like
Citations.
But you're
not required.
informed enough to craft that dumb shit into appropriate dumb shit.
It's that like Borowitz kind of level of like, well,
Oh,
did you know Chester?
Borowitz. I'm just gonna hang myself right now.
I said it's not because I trust you to actually.
yeah, but you said Borowitz.
You didn't say Borowitz.
I use it as the exact
Oh, it's
opposite.
3
of
times he's
okay.
going to come to
All
Dawson.
right.
Although he did finally start putting in his posts, this is a humorous blog post.
Oh my God.
Does he call himself a humorist now? I think that's even more offensive.
No, but he had to at least clarify that he was not real.
I think he's always called himself a humorist.
Yeah.
That's the thing. It's like
Yeah.
just dry dead people who is like the kind of humor that is found in museum.
Reader's Digest.
Like you leave them out. They're nice people.
Sure.
They're funnier than Borowitz is. That's for sure.
Laura Ingalls, the Laura Ingalls Rider memorial home, the tourists, the tour guides who here's where Laura Ingalls and her blind sister Mary sat in front of the fire.
Little temple on the prairie.
Fucking fantastic. Yeah, you're always invited anytime you have the time for it.
Thank you.
I bring the shirt back next time, though. I think that actually will be part of it because. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Adam McWaters, thanks for coming and hanging out with us.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Dylan, thanks for helping run the show. If you like this show, you want to know more about the show, you can go to drunkcastlive.com. That's drunkcastlive.com. You can also go to contentpinning.com and see the rest of the podcasts that we've been producing recently. Some fun stuff out there.
6 of them.
Yeah, 6 of them. DrunkCast is also in the thing. I always want to give a shout out for Rob Gagnon's Sandbox because that's a lot of fun for me to produce.
That's one of my favorite shows.
Yeah.
It's so fun.
good.
His show's great. The podcast companion's a lot of fun to produce, and I've been having a lot of fun with him, especially just working with Rob. And the foreign correspondent, Todd, who was going to try to be here tonight, but he has to work. Fine. We can go to facebook.com/drunkcastlive and see stuff there, see video that we've been producing. YouTube, eventually, youtube.com/drunkcastlive to see the stuff that we've been with probably better audio quality. Twitter is at DrunkCastLive or DrunkCastLive PICS. That's pics on Instagram for all your picture needs. And then, of course, if you want to ask a question, you can go to 802-359-7468. You can questions at drunkcastlive.com. And you can do those things that would be a lot of fun. Especially go to iTunes. I don't think that Google Play has a review setup, but iTunes definitely does. Go to iTunes and tell us what you think about the show. That actually increases our exposure tremendously because iTunes has stopped using tags entirely for the way that they do things.
Because they're an abortion of technology.
Yeah, I guess so.
And as mentioned earlier in the show, there's also a newsletter.
Yes, of course, yeah. Newsletter, you go to drunkcastlive.com and sign up for the newsletter. You get the adjacent stuff, the stuff that we talked about tonight, with the links and stuff that are not in the blogs, and also stuff that reminds us of the other things that are related to it, so the trailers of things or stuff that we watch outside the segments, like Blink, for example. That's a thing, you can whatever. That's a really great place to continue engagement with us because it's Chris Lloyd does it, and Chris Lloyd is great at continuing the spirit of what we're doing. He sends out some cool stuff.
Does he correct us about Squirrel Girl?
Yes. Well, that's going to happen too. And then go to the contentpending.threadless.com for any merch stuff. We have, we get mugs and iPhone cases and again,
shower curtain.
We get a shower curtain. The shower curtain, the first person to buy a shower curtain gets the money refunded. The 50th person gets double the money refunded. And everyone in between just gets to have the most beautiful thing.
Shower curtain they've ever seen.
The most beautiful thing you'll have to argue with your significant other about for the rest of your relationship.
The finest, most resplendent thing.
Yes.
You must argue the value of.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm going to throw this out there. If you film the argument with your significant other and send it to us, we'll judge the best argument and we'll refund the money for the winner.
No, I'll give those people. I'll give that person $200.
What if you get 2 arguments?
2 different arguments? That
would mean we sold at least
but I'm
2
saying
shower curtains.
But what I'm saying is you're offering what did you say?
I'll say $200 if you
$200
if you film fighting. With
let's say you get, but let's say you only, but let's say you
no,
only.
This is legally.
But
gray
let's say
area.
you only get 2 arguments, and you're like, all right, you get 2. The best argument gets $200. That means of everybody who got a shower curtain, 2 of them got into an argument that they decided to be able to record that, and they went through all that trouble. They went through an argument, which being in an argument in a relationship,
it's not fun.
It's so not fun.
No, it's not fun.
You're like this. I have to fight with this person I love. I hate it. It's the worst experience in the world.
It is hyperbole.
That's why we're paying $200
in the event of
pain and suffering.
But I think I got a good enough argument in that I can submit it to DrunkCast Live, and they will give me $200.
Yes.
And then to find out that it was actually the second best argument, and you get nothing.
While that is a possibility, everyone needs to understand we're reasonable people. And in the event of a tie, we will fly you and yours and them and theirs
anywhere else.
sunny Orlando, Florida, so you can argue at each other
Yes.
Yeah.
in a no holds barred
Yeah. Thunderdome style.
Thunderdome.
Even better than that, they'll split the prize, but it'll be an IKEA gift card, so $100 per person.
No, one's an
And then
IKEA, one's a Walmart gift card.
No, everyone goes to IKEA at the
Only-
same
only
time.
on Saturday.
And you have to meet each other at the same time. And then if you haven't broken up by the time you've left IKEA,
Oh, yeah.
congratulations. We're basically life coaches now.
Your
We have
marriage-
made your marriage
if you
a
haven't,
relationship.
your marriage.
If you haven't broken up by the time you get to the IKEA, we will go to one of these small kitchen displays in IKEA, and we will have a double date at a four-chair dinner table.
That's right. Yeah.
It's meatballs.
For free meatballs. Yeah.
yeah.
Have you seen that video? have you seen that video where like
liking this a lot.
where this old guy he hits a bong really hard and then he gets a beer and he chugs it and then he smokes a cigarette and then he it does a shot real quick and then he exhales the pot smoke and then everybody around him is chuckling and recording on camera and they all stand up and they walk out and they're just in a couch display at IKEA. It's just smoking weed and drinking.
That's a perfect life. It's the reason IKEA came here.
Yeah. That's why the Vikings came to America.
That's
So that
That's why they raped all those people.
so that teens who were too young to be in the flash mob generation get to smoke weed in IKEA.
But that would
That's
actually
why the
technically,
Swedes are here. That is why the Swedes are here.
technically, if I'm not mistaken, that would the people you were talking about. They probably hailed from what would be now known as Denmark.
So that's my people, yeah. That's why I know that I'm related to Ryan Fitzgibbons. Because
Because you guys fucked and got married.
What?
And
Yes. Yeah. I'll talk about that after the show.
so
Yeah.
Yeah.
Moving on.
so
moving
moving.
on. Thank you so much for listening to this episode. If you like any of this, please let us know. If you want to tell us what you don't like, please go 802-359-7468 and etc. And we love you so much, and we'll see you next week. Podcast responsibly.
We come to let you know what the deal is.
I like the octopus that's going around on a listening tour and saying when I created Facebook, I